Escape to Canada by Rob Orego, illustrated by Bob Novak. After you read this story, you'll be doing Let Us Learn About Lexington and how to write verbs, I believe, verb phrases with have and things like that to kind of make sure we're using grammar correctly and writing good sentences. So this will help with the grammar. But first, let's focus on our vocabulary readers, and let's get our vocabulary down for Katie Strunk. Escape to Canada by Rob Orego, illustrated by Bob Novak. Key vocabulary: arming, beep, providing with weapons; drilling, beep, doing exercises to become good soldiers; fierce, beep, harsh and forceful; just, beep, honorable and fair; kin, beep, relatives, family; peered, beep, looked at with concentration; rebels, beep, people who are against the government; skirmish, beep, a small short fight between enemies; skittish, beep, nervous and jumpy. It was 1776. The American Revolution was just starting. Everywhere people were getting ready for war. Men were arming themselves with rifles. They were drilling or doing exercises to become good soldiers. They wanted to fight for freedom from British rule. But some people did not want freedom from Britain. These people were called Loyalists. This is a true story about what happened to one Loyalist family. Benjamin Ingram was a Loyalist. He lived in what is now New York State with his wife and young children. His daughter Hannah was just 4 when he left home to join the British Army. Hannah was sad to say goodbye to her father. She didn't know it would be 7 years until she saw him again. Her family would face many problems during those long years. Hannah's neighbors were rebels. That means they were against the British. They were angry at her family. The rebels passed a new law. The law let the rebels take away the Loyalists' land and belongings. They took the Ingram's farm. The family was left with almost nothing. Hannah knew the rebels were not being just or fair, but there was nothing the Ingrams could do. All through the war, life was hard for Hannah and her family. They were afraid of their rebel neighbors. The fighting made them nervous and skittish. Worse still, Hannah never heard from her father. She feared he had died in a short fight or skirmish with the rebels. Then, in 1783, Hannah's father came home. The war was finally over, but the Ingrams were not safe yet. The rebels had won the war. Benjamin Ingram told his family to pack up their belongings. They were going to Canada. Canada still belonged to the British. There, the Ingrams and other Loyalists could live without fear of the rebels. The family prepared for their trip. They loaded food and other supplies onto wagons. These supplies would help them survive their first winter in Canada. Hannah was now 11 years old. She brought a diary along too. She wanted to write about her family's journey. The Ingrams started their trip. It was early fall. The days were getting cold. The family had to reach New York City in time to catch a ship to Canada. They arrived just in time for the last boat of the season. The ship reached St. John, Canada, in early October of 1783. From the ship's deck, Hannah peered out at her new country. She saw snow falling on the ground. The air was cold and wintry. The months ahead were hard for the new settlers. They lived in tents. They had very little food. Many people got sick and died. Hannah and her family struggled through the fierce winter. It was a miserable time, but they all survived. This photograph of Hannah Ingram was taken in 1860. Hannah and her kin or family lived in Canada for the rest of their lives. They had found a new home where they could live in peace. We know this because Hannah's diary survived her journey too and lived on long after her. It's a key vocabulary. Okay, so remember to do your Let Us Learn About Lexington paper, and then we'll be ready to read the story on Thursday. Okay, bye.